Good morning, this is Miss Trangle. I'm making the 1-5 video for you. I believe the date, again, I could be a little off on my calendar if we change things, but I believe the date today is September 29th. So 9/29/30, the topic.
Have you turned it on?
Okay, and the topic is section 1-5 from your Big Ideas book on angles. So write the date and the topic and title in the top right corner. Remember, that's one of your 10 points. Okay, set up your lines for your Cornell notes, your lines. Then you're going to write EQ or essential question and highlight. And you're going to write in what are angles and how are they classified. Then once you have your essential question written, you're going to go ahead and write learning target or LT1G. We're on 1G. I can classify, measure, and copy angles. And the copy angles part we're probably going to skip during distance learning, and we'll do that when we get to hybrid or in person. And use the angle addition postulate. Then we have some vocabulary words, and we have a question. How do you classify angles? So classifying is like putting into groups. Like we can classify a cat as a mammal, or we can classify a bald eagle as a bird or a reptile. So how do we classify? So again, you can abbreviate, but you should have all these definitions down. Acute angle. Okay, acute angle is between 0 and 90 degrees. So a lot of times people think less than 90. Okay, a right angle is exactly 90 degrees, and it has that little box in the corner. An obtuse angle is more than 90, so like 90.5 or 91, less than 180. So maybe something like 120. Okay. I always remember acute angles, they're cute, they're little. A straight angle, a straight line is exactly 180. So if you need more time, pause the video, write them down. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next section, the examples. All right, so you're going to put EX if you like to abbreviate, example problems if you like to write it out. You're going to highlight the title so that I can find it. You can summarize the word problem, but you should have something written down for number 1. A lighthouse keeper measures the angle formed by the lighthouse at point M. So point M is right here. I'll zoom in a little. And the 3 boats. And the 3 boats, name 3 angles shown in the diagram. So let's start with this top angle. Remember to name the angles, you want to go in order. So I see a J, J, M, K. So angle J, M, K. Or I could call that angle KMJ, but I have to go in order. All right, then I'm going to do the bottom angle, which is going to be KML. Or if I went the other direction, LMK. Then you might be wondering, what's the last angle? The last angle is the big angle, JML, the big angle. Or if I do the other way, angle LMJ.
Look at baby syrup.
Okay, here is example 2. So name each angle 3 ways. So we're just practicing coming out with all the possible ways to name it.
I have a broken pen.
Okay, so the first way I can name this angle is starting left to right, PQR. So angle PQR. The other way I can name it, a second way, is to go the other direction, RQP. And the third way, okay, is just to call it angle Q. Okay, so pause the video and I want you to try B and C on your own. See if you can come up with them. I'll put the answers. So Z, Y, X would be one way, X, Y, Z. And actually for this one, since it has a little number, I can also call it angle 1. All right, so see if you can get part C. So I have angle FED, and if you list these in a different order, that's fine. Angle DEF, and the third way would be angle 2. Okay? All right, here we're going to work on measuring each angle and then classifying, so kind of using a protractor. So part A says find the measure of angle GHK, so let's find that, GHK. So here's that angle. Since I'm starting at angle G, I actually want to use the 0. I want to use these upper numbers. So I'm going from 0, I'm using the upper numbers. So it looks like I'm between 120 and 130, pretty much exactly halfway. So I would say 125 degrees. To classify, you want to think acute, right, obtuse, or straight. This is bigger than 90, so it's obtuse. The only issue that I see sometimes is people will say like 65 degrees. They'll use the bottom numbers. And think about the size of the angle. This is a big angle, bigger than 90, so you need to use the large numbers. It's obtuse. Okay? Try part B, try part C, pause the video, see how you do. I'll put the answers in a minute. For part B, we have angle JHL. JHL. So hopefully that is 90 degrees and right. And the last one, we have angle L. Let me erase all this. Angle L. H. K. All right, LHK. And this is a little bit tricky because I am going from 90. Okay, well, we can use the bottom or the top numbers here. So I'm going from 90 to 125. So if I go from 90 to 125, think about like subtracting. That is 35 degrees acute. Okay, if you use the bottom numbers, you're going from 55 to 90, which is also 35 degrees. All right, example 4. Part A says identify the congruent angles labeled in the quilt design. So congruent, they're going to have the same marking. So right here and right here, these are congruent angles because they both have two little red lines. So we just need to name them. So this angle would be EFG. So angle EFG is congruent. Remember the symbol for congruent is equal with a little sideways S to this angle here, which would be ADC. If you put CDA and GFE, that would also be correct. Okay, then we have one more set of congruent angles right here with one little red line. So that is angle ABC or CBA is congruent. And then the other angle up here is HGF. HGF, and if you put, so I forgot my angle symbol, FGH, that's also fine. All right, then what else do we have? It says angle ADC, let's find that. Angle ADC right here is 140 degrees. What is EFG? Since they're both congruent, congruent means equal, that is also 140 degrees. What do we have next? The angle addition postulate. Remember, you do need angle addition postulate written and highlighted. Let me find a better color here. Written and highlighted. Okay, you can summarize. I don't expect everything written. What is this basically saying? If you add two angles, two smaller angles, it adds up to the big one. So maybe you want to draw the picture and maybe you want to put something like 40 and 30. Then the big angle is 70. That's basically what the angle addition postulate is telling you. If you have one large angle like RST and you break it into two smaller angles, the sum of the smaller angles is equal to the bigger angle. That's what the angle addition postulate is saying. So we're going to use that angle addition postulate for questions 5, 6, 7. If you need to pause to set up your example problems, pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and start solving them. So for 5, let's put in the picture what we know. So KLM is the big angle. We're going to find the big angle. It says KLB, this little green angle, KLE, is 26. And BLM, what a great acronym, huh? 60 degrees. So what is the big angle? We need to add them. 26 plus 60. And measure KLM is 86 degrees. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6, I encourage you to pause the video, set up your problem, try it out, see how you do. So AJK is 61 degrees. IJK, so that's actually the big angle, is 153 degrees. Find IJA. find this. So since we have the big and the little and we need another little, we're going to actually subtract for this one. So 153 minus 61. Okay. So I'm getting 92 degrees. All right, lastly for number 7, find measure of IHQ. IHQ, so we're finding this. And we know that IHG, we know the big angle is 176. And we know QHG is 130. So again, for this one, I'm going to be subtracting 176 minus 130. You can use a calculator if you want to. I get 46 degrees. Okay, so hopefully you felt pretty